from Once Diario Monterrey, Mexico. And I want to ask you, how much do you know about the Mexican League and what do you expect about Rayadas?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking forward to playing a very good team. I think you see, especially their last two results, like their season has started. They've had some tight games, but the last two games we've seen them really. I think it was 4-0 and 3-0 in their last two games. I wouldn't say I'm an expert on the Mexican League, but it's definitely a league we keep an eye on. Fantastic support that's starting to build there for their women's programs. As someone who worked in youth soccer before I came here, I think you can see the development of the Mexican youth through their systems and how well they're doing. So we always have an eye on the Mexican League, and we know we're playing one of their top teams in this tournament.
All right, if you're online and you have a question, please use the raise hand feature. We will start it off with Taylor Vincent.
Yes, I was wondering, what role do you think tournaments like this play in the absence of a Club World Cup?
Yeah, well, I think that it's a really great opportunity to measure yourselves across different leagues. It'll be interesting to hear Janine's answer as someone who played in Europe for a long time. But learning from other coaches, watching other teams play, different systems, different sort of tempos of the game, I think it's just a great and exciting opportunity. I know the players are looking forward to it. I think the fans are as well, just to see what one another do and how we play and how they sort of work against one another. It's always interesting and exciting, and yeah, anything you want to add?
I think just being on both sides of it, I played in the ICC tournament when I was in Manchester City, and obviously they have a very different perspective in terms of this being their preseason tournament, and for us it's a nice change of rhythm in the middle of the season to play some different opposition and have different challenges. And so I think it's a great opportunity as a player to play against teams from the best leagues around the world. It's a great chance to see where we're at against some of the best players in the world. So I think it's an exciting opportunity for everyone, and it's a great showcase for the women's game all across the world. So it's definitely going to be different outcomes for. Oh,
Stefan, I think you guys accidentally got muted.
The first half of the answer was brilliant.
I like it.
And then one other question is, either one of you can take it. How do international friendly tournaments contribute to growing the women's game, do you think?
I think we've seen the impact that the Euros this past month has had on world football, and similarly with all the Confederation tournaments that have gone on this summer. I think as years go by, the women's game continues to make its mark on the world, and we get more TV space, more media coverage, and so the world gets to see the talent that's in this game. And these kind of tournaments definitely help with that on the club side rather than on the international side. And actually, you find a lot of very much hidden gems when you see world club football. A lot of players that don't play on national teams that are fantastic players. So I think it's a great way to continue to move the pin in the right direction for the women's game.
Thank you so much.
All right, next we'll go to Ryan Clark.
Hi y'all, how's it going? Just wanted to ask the both of you about your expectations for the personnel that you'll put out there. Rhian might be able to answer this better than Janine, but what would you expect as far as rotation, Rhian, given the number of games in NWSL and in this tournament that you'll have to play over this next week or two?
Yeah, I don't think there's any way to hide from, we've got 6 games this month, we played 2, and we've got 4 now coming up pretty in quick succession. We need to respect the opposition we have here and the fan base and put out teams that are ready to win and fight for the badge, and that is what we're doing, making sure as well that we're getting players the rest they need to then go back-to-back with North Carolina and at home to San Diego at the end of this month. So. It's the puzzle that is being a coach. And again, I'd highlight just the fantastic team that I do have and the players. They recognize that this is not a time to put all the value on starting. That's not what it's about. It's how do we make sure we get the best lineups out there to win, as well as making sure our players are ready to go for as many games as possible.
And for both of you, your thoughts on what this will mean for soccer fans in the Portland area to be able to watch this tournament again this year and absorb the women's game at its highest level.
I thought Janine spoke really well about the Euros and the excitement that came with it, watching the players that you've seen on television, watching the Olympic gold medalists, watching them play for their clubs. I think this is, as we know, this is Soccer City. The fan base here is very knowledgeable. They're very connected, and these are just wonderful opportunities to see these iconic women in person, whether they're playing here for the NWSL or whether they're playing in Mexico or Europe. It's a wonderful opportunity.
Right, next we'll go to Melina Gaspar.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I wanted to ask to Coach Rhian about Shelby Hogan, since she was one of the stars at the last Women's ICC. If we expect to see her a little bit in this tournament? Thank you.
Yeah, Shelby was the star of the WICC last year, and I think you saw a lot about Shelby's character, her attitude, and her skill set when during the international window, when we had Bella and Abby get COVID at the same time, and she came back from under 23 camp, walked into the starting lineup, and then had a PK called against her in the first minute, which she went on to save, and they got the rebound. But quality young player. She's just working through a niggle, so she won't be featuring, but definitely a player for the future that's got a huge potential for the future as a Thorn.
Do we have any last questions for either Janine or Rhian? Okay, we'll take one more from Ryan Clark.
I was just curious about both of your thoughts on the potential for the growth of the Thorns as a prominent global sports team through this tournament. You know, the opportunity for people around the world to see the Thorns, see how they play, and what they're about as a club.
I think it's been amazing that the NWSL continues to be watched more globally as it's becoming available more globally. Having spent so much time in Europe, I know for myself, obviously a North American, I definitely was paying attention to the league while I played over there, but you know, a lot of those players over there pay attention as well. And it's not just now that the Thorns have been prominent worldwide. I think it's always a name that comes up when the NWSL is mentioned in Europe and all across the world. It's a club that has established dominance over the last long period of time, and you know, the players here definitely feel that. I don't know if I would call it pressure, but pride in the fact that this team should be at the top of the table every time a new season comes around. And you know, thankfully we've put in the performances this season thus far that have kept us at the top of the table. But as everyone knows, this league can flip just as fast as you know, you can win a few games. So we're definitely on the right page. Like I said, this will be a great rhythm change for us. Hopefully get some minutes and some players that maybe haven't seen as many, and then get right back to it in the league, and hopefully use these 2 games as momentum to finish out the season and stay on top.
All right, I think we'll wrap it there. Thank you guys for your time, and good luck tomorrow.
Thanks very much.